If you are a toy or game creator with great product and almost no sales, your listing is usually the leak, not your ads, not your price. It's your listing. Your listing itself is invisible to the Amazon algorithm. So when the right buyer never find it, and it is also not convincing enough to a few that do. So they just click away. So that's not a traffic problem that you can spend your way out of it. It is a build problem, it's a listing problem. And today we're going to talk about that. I'm Jason Shea, founder of Toy Launch, where we run Amazon management, digital marketing, an in-house studio, and TikTok shop for toys and game brands. In today's video, I'm going to show you the exact A component we build into every single of Amazon listing, the one that make it rank and search and convert the buyer once they land. And here's the belief to flip. Most people think the listing is either it rank or it sells, that you ride for the algorithm or for the human. Wrong. A great listing does both at the same time. They are not in conflict to each other. They are really complement to each other instead. And I'll show you how. And again, this is day 4 of our 7-day Amazon Launchpad challenge. If you want to follow along, then feel free to watch the other video in this series as well. And let's set some time, then we'll do some work together for your Amazon listing. There's a component when it comes to a successful Amazon listing that can rank and sell. A complete Amazon listing include all 8. Missing any one, then you are leaving either ranking or conversion on the table. And here are those 8. The first one is your product title. Second, your bullet point. Third, your images. Fourth is your video. Number 5 is your brand story. Number 6 is your A+ content. Number 7 is your alt text. Number 8 is your backend search term. And here's something most creators get wrong. So please make sure you pay attention. People think some of these are text, some of are visual only, but that's really not how it works. A lot of them, for example, your images, your video, your brand story, and your A+, will have both a visual layer and a text layer. Your image should have the photo and also have infographic text on it. Your video should not just be a video, but also have text overlay so people can also read it. Each of the components is doing a different job to convince or communicate with the buyer from different angle. Your brand story also have a branded design and also storytelling copy that you need to. Your A+ have layout and words on every single module. You cannot write the words without knowing the visual, and you cannot design the visual without knowing the words. So here's how we're going to split the work. Today in the day 4 video, we're going to talk about the text layer of 08, your title, your bullet point, your infographic copy, your video script, the overlay, and all the other text related stuff. Tomorrow in day 5 of our video series, we're going to talk about how do you build the visual layer. How do you design the image? How do you shoot the video? How do you lay out the brand story and A+? Using the word you'll be working on today as a blueprint. So today is definitely the foundation. Let's start going through it. The first thing you're going to do today is to create your listing master document. It is a very simple document. You can use Google Doc or you can use Microsoft Word if you prefer that. Then you just need to make sure you kind of write down every single element of your Amazon listing, especially on the text side, your title, your bullet point, which is 5 bullet point, your product description, your backend search term, and any other variation of it. This become your source of truth. Every single time you update your listing, you also want to update your master document first, then copy everything you write into your Amazon Seller Central. And every single employee or team member that you hire as touching your listing should be also working on the same document. This prevents the situation where your listing in Seller Central say one thing and your internal document say the other. And also, if your listing got suspended for whatever reason, if you need to recreate your listing, now you have all the documents. So make sure you create that listing as a backup, as a source of truth, and you can fill it in as you walk through today's lesson. And if you want to find an example of this, we'll also make sure we include that in our free communities as well, that you can download the free resource. But before you start writing a single word of your listing, you need your keyword data, which I go over briefly in the previous video as well. We currently use 2 different tools to do this. One is Helium 10 and one is Data Dive. You can use whichever one you have. The process is very similar. In Helium 10, you can go to Cerebrals to find the keyword. In Data Dive, you can use the deep dive or niche dive function to do a list of keyword researches. And again, I think I shared that before, but on how to do that is first you need to identify some of your 10 competitor and use some of the competitors' keyword to figure out what are some of the keyword you also want to use that your competitor is already indexing and ranking. Then once you put together the keyword research, then you can search for your main product keyword. The simplest, the most direct description of your, usually is the singlest most direct description of what your product is list, that's one of your like main product keyword. For example, if you sell a fidget toy, it could be fidget toy, it could be that keyword. Then you want to come back is a list of a search term all sorted by volume that real buyer are using to find product like yours. Then you build this two lists from first is you want to build a primary keyword list. It's usually 8 to 12 different keywords that have the highest search volume that are directly related to your product. Then those need to go into your title and your bullet point. And those are the terms you absolutely need to be indexing for. Then the second is your backend search term list. It's a longer list of other keywords. It could be secondary, a little bit longer tail keyword that you don't have the room to use in your title. So you can use it in your backend search field. You can also use it what I'll be explaining, which is called alt text as well. As other location, you can use those keywords that you already did research for in different location inside your Amazon listing. So you can still use it for indexing, and because those are still very important. So make sure you take some time here. The keyword research is going to be the foundation of everything you do. A listing built on the wrong list of keyword or no keyword is invisible, no matter how well it is written. So that's just, let me go ahead and share my screen, and I'm just going to use one of our listing as an example to go through all the different components. So again, let's go over the title. So your product title is the most important piece of keyword real estate on your listing. Amazon give it the most weight for indexing, and it is also the first thing the buyer read before they decided whether to click on your listing. So a strong title does a couple of things. First, you want to lead with your primary keyword. For this product, it's a shoulder wrap for kids, or it's like a weighted neck pillow for kids. So that exact phrase the buyer is going to use when they search for your product, you need to communicate the core value or the use case, and you need to include enough secondary keyword to improve your ranking without becoming unreadable. For example, we also use travel pillow for flight, car rides, adventure, soft and cuddly neck pillow, airplane for kids. So it gets a little bit long, but again, most people doesn't really read it in full. It's really more for a search engine as well. So you want to kind of have a combination of like, how do you write it for the search engine, and how do you also write for a human at the same time? That's also very important. So you want to make sure you can include keyword in your titles. Make sure the title and the keyword you are using, it also include specific and searchable term that communicate who it is for, and it still read kind of like a sentence. So you want to definitely write your keyword with the primary keyword first. Then you can add some of your most important secondary term later, and keep it under 200 character, and you can read it aloud to see if it read well. Then if it doesn't read well, you can always rewrite it as well. Next is your bullet point. For Amazon, you usually have 5 bullet points for your listing. And your bullet point are where you make the sales. A buyer that click on your listing do it because of your title and images. Now, sometimes they also read a bullet point as well. But keep in mind, I would say 80% of the consumer on Amazon, they are too lazy to read. They actually don't read the bullet point. They look at your images more than reading the bullet point. So you really want to write a bullet point with the search engine in mind more than the human, because the human usually just doesn't read through all the text that you're going to put into the bullet point as well. But each bullet point should still lead with a benefit, not just a feature. So you want to make sure you write a bullet point in a way that you should answer some of the most important questions your buyer might potentially have. What this product is, who it is for, and is this right for my situation? Is the quality going to show up as well? Because this also, all the things you write also feed into the latest Amazon AI algorithm. Now they have an AI that you can ask them questions. So the AI is going to identify the answer to those commonly asked questions by the consumer by reading your bullet point, by reading your description as well. So that's why it's really important to make sure you can answer any potential questions. For example, is your product machine washable? What is the age range for this product, or whatever other question that your consumer might have. You want to also address as many questions as possible inside your copywriting in your bullet point and also under your product description. Components 3 and 4 is really images and video, which I will go more in depth in the next video. But again, I want to just quickly talk about the images. You want to make sure it's not just photos. You want to make sure it is infographic. So you can kind of showcase different feature of, and also have words that call out benefits. It could be age range, could talk about what is in the box. So you want to really make sure you have infographic in your images. Then on the video, you can have many different type of videos as well. And I'm going to go over more on the images and video in the next video. Next is brand story. Brand story is going to be the it's kind of like a horizontal banner you can also design. It is an enhanced content that appears on your listing across all your product once you have the brand registry registered. With this same design is going to show up on all your product. It is going to be a visual like horizontal banner across all your detail page, and you can really use it to write a story about why you started your company. It could be just 1 or 2 paragraphs. Who you are, why do you make what you make, who's it for, and then if you went through the previous day 3 training, you already have a lot of those information when you're coming up with your packaging and your Instacart. The same story that can connect you to the customer will also belong here. And keep it human. People buy from brand they trust, and brand story is where you can learn a little bit of that trust before they even read your other information about your brand. In tomorrow on day 5, will lay out some of the visual that you can try to use as well. Component number 6 is going to be A+ content. A+ content is the 6th component. It is a modular content block that replaces your plain text description once you have the brand registry. Again, it is a combination of both visual and text. The image and icon layout in many different modules. There's a lot of different type of module you can also use. This is the way we usually design. We'll use a logo in the beginning, then we'll start with headline kind of image banner. Then what our internal team like to use is what we call a 4x4 grid. So it is 4 images followed by 4 icons. Then in the text box under each of the images and icons, we talk about 4 different benefits and 4 different features of the toys or games that we're representing on the Amazon platform. So that's something you can also consider when you're designing this. This is almost like a mini website you need to design for Amazon purposes as well. But the text here is very important. One of the common problem I see when I'm reviewing other people's listing for A+ content is sometimes it's only images. They have like a lot, like 4 or 5 different images stacked on top of each other, but there's no text box. So this really limited your own ability to rank for additional keyword if you don't include text box on your A+ content. So I highly encourage to have a more of a balanced approach. You want to have a lot of images, but also want to have enough room for like including text boxes into your design as well. So you will have more chance to index and rank for different type of keyword on Amazon as well. Component number 7 is alt text. So alt text, it is a backend search term field. It's a hidden text label that attached to every single images you upload on Amazon. As you can see, I use a special software so I can visualize this for you. So every single images, as you can see, this one have a bunch of text. They say weighted stuffed animals, neck wrap, kids, But this is just, again, another way for Amazon search engine to understand what your image is about and also index your product for different type of keyword as well. This is often forgotten by a lot of the creators. Most people just don't understand how to use it. It's like blank when I was doing audit for them. So make sure you fully optimize and fully use this particular field for your listing as well. For component number 8, it is going to be your backend search term. Backend search term is a field inside your Seller Central account. It's invisible to the buyer, but it is read by the Amazon algorithm. Remember the secondary keyword list that we talked about earlier during the setup, the long tail and the secondary terms that you couldn't fit naturally into your visible copy. You don't have enough room to fit it into your title or bullet point. This is where some of the keyword can go that you didn't use. Use your secondary keywords. You can use common misspelling or even Spanish term inside your backend search term as well. And make sure you don't repeat the term that's already in your title and bullet point. Amazon doesn't give you any extra way for repetition. You're just wasting space. So use every character to add new and indexable term inside your listing by leveraging that field. So let's recap today. So today's setup, first, you create listing master document, run your keywords research using Helium 10 or data type to build your primary keyword list and your backend list. That's the foundation that everything else will be hanging on. And then there's a component that I mentioned. There's title, bullet points, images, video, brand story, A+ content, alt text, and backend search term. And by the end of today, you should have copywriting for all the components written. It might not be final copy yet, but at least you have a working copy inside your master document where you document all the different copywriting for the 8 components. And the worksheet and the checklist for today's lesson will be waiting for you inside our free community, Toys and Game Launchpad, where every day's templates, PDF, and step-by-step worksheet will be living there. So if you want to follow along and download the worksheet, download the example, even a template for the master product document, just go to toy-launch.com/group, or you can tap on the link. You can click on the link below the comment. It is free and it is built for exactly those people that we're trying to serve. And that is everything you need to know. There's another thing about the thing you just wrote. row. So most shopper want visual. What do you need to think about when you're designing visual as well? And that's the next video. So please watch the next video here. I will see you in the next video.